Welcome to the fourth after-action report for the Fortress Italy Monte Cassino campaign. I'm skipping my normal campaign introduction and sitrep because this battle is big, and I want to maximise the video time. If you want some campaign context, please watch one of the previous Monte Cassino videos. I'm also going to document this battle over 2 videos. There are so many individual stories to tell across the battle, I don't want to lose those tales and only cover the wider battle and plan. My orders are to secure the hilltop location 593 on the southern end of Snake's Head Ridge. I have approximately 1,200 soldiers under my command. This gives me approximately 60 individual units on map, each requiring orders. This is a lot of complexity and management that hasn't been present in my previous AARs. I have the 4th and the 6th Carpathian Infantry Battalions, the 16th and the 17th Battalions of the 5th Kresovar Division, and the 3rd Carpathian MG Battalion. I also have sappers from the 5th Battalion, the 5th Kosovar, and 4 Shermans from the 1st Ulan Tank Regiment. I have a wealth of divisional artillery support, 81 and 107mm mortars, 25 pounders, 5.5 and 7.5 inch guns, and in total I have 64 on and off map artillery pieces in support. Looking at the AO, it's expansive, around 1 square mile. It's mountainous and covers all the areas from our previous battles: Phantom Ridge, the Gorge, Snakehead Ridge and Angelo Ridge. My primary kick-off position is in the valley on the northern slopes of Snakehead Ridge, pretty much where I was for Battle 2, which I lost. I must win this battle, or the campaign will end, and I will not have an opportunity to attack the monastery at Monte Cassino. After a detailed review, I've decided on the following tactics and plan. Following my failure in Battle 2 and my success in Battle 3, I shall attack on a wide front. I want to maximise my firepower and defuse my adversaries. I shall also maximise the use of my available artillery, including the use of heavy smoke to mask my attacks. If we look at the terrain, I've identified 4 important terrain locations. They are the mission objective Kelly, the northern end of Snakehead Ridge, Taylor, the farmstead at the southern end of the valley, Gardner, and the terrain south of Angelo Ridge, Lake. I fully expect the Fallschirmjäger to be spread across the AO, including on the western slopes of Snakehead Ridge, on the saddle to the north of Gardner, and the north of Lake. I also have HMG and on-map mortars set up on the northern end of the AO, at location Terrace 1 and 2. I shall use these to suppress specific spotted targets. I have 120 minutes to successfully secure the objectives at Kelly, but I doubt the battle will last that long. With such open terrain, long line of sight and available artillery assets on both sides, I anticipate the fighting will be violent, on a grand scale, and neither side has the resources to last 2 hours of slaughter. So my plan: I shall start by laying down heavy mortar and artillery barrages on the locations identified with blue lines. I shall lay down heavy smoke on the grey lines. Once the smoke munitions are expended, I shall redirect the artillery to use HE where required. As the barrage starts, I will advance 4th Battalion up the northern slope of Snakehead Ridge. Divisional Command advised that the route to Snakehead Ridge is mined, so sappers will accompany them to try and mark the minefields on the slopes, so I minimise casualties when reinforcing. Whilst 4th Battalion advance, a company from the 17th on my right flank will also advance on Lake. The company is only at 60% strength, and I shall mask their advance with smoke. Once they are close, I shall halt the barrage, and then they will assault Lake. Whilst not a mission goal, I want to attack this area to neutralise this defensive force at Lake, and again to widen my front. Synchronised with the attack upon Lake, a company from the 16th, just north of the saddle, will feint an attack on the farmstead. This is to engage Jerry on the western slope of Snakehead Ridge and from the farmstead. I shall also advance my 6th Battalion, sappers and my armour into the valley. Their mission is to provide further pressure on the western slopes of Snakehead Ridge and the saddle. As they roll down the valley, I expect heavy resistance. This is the route I attempted earlier in the day, and it was unsuccessful. I do not anticipate this force reaching the southern end of the valley or assaulting Gardner. They are there to complement A Company of the 16th and engage Jerry, supporting the wider front. 4th Battalion is tasked with securing the mission goal, Kelly. First, they will secure Taylor, then they will attack south along Snakehead Ridge, ultimately securing Kelly. That's the plan. It's more complicated and detailed than I would usually start with. I'm also concerned about successfully synchronizing the barrages with the infantry, but I've little choice. It's now 1600 hours. My force has been resupplied and received limited reinforcements. I'd estimate in total we're around 85% fighting effectiveness. The artillery is incoming, so fix bayonets and let's charge. My spotters look on as the barrage starts to fall on the western slopes of Snakehead Ridge. I also have mortars falling on Kelly and smoke. My forces are quickly engaged at long range by the Bolshevik. The 4th advance up the northern slopes as quickly as possible. B Company lead with 4 platoon at the tip. Sixth Battalion begin their advance, accompanied by the armour. My smoke is laying thick over the hillsides of Snakehead Ridge. And my artillery continues to fall. On my right flank, A Company from the 17th push forward. As my artillery falls on objective Lake. The farmstead at Gardner is also getting a hammering. My advance south down the valley floor continues. The defenders are well hidden and usually equipped with MGs. I try to single them out and hit them hard. A Company from the 16th begin their advance down the saddle. I'm continuously under effective MG fire. The 6th prepare to push deeper down the gorge. As I prepare for my next push, I come under a counter battle, and A Company of the 16th take substantial casualties. My attack along the valley floor and the saddle is attracting heavy fire from the western slopes of Snakehead Ridge. A Company from the 6th, together with 3 platoons from the sappers, lead the advance. We're 10 minutes into battle. The 4th are in position to attack Taylor, the 6th continue their advance down the gorge, A Company from the 16th continue their advance down the saddle, and my troops, A Company of the 17th, are only just starting their assault on Lake. I've messed up the timing on my smoke, and most of it has dispersed before the forces move into their assault positions. I'm retasking the mortars that were firing smoke to HE, and I'm redirecting my on-map mortars to hit specific identified targets. The 6th have advanced further down the valley than I anticipated, and the 4th slower to attack Taylor. In the valley, I'm advancing armour and infantry together. The sappers are leading the advance as they look for mines. My soldiers are under continuous fire. It's not overwhelming, but I am sustaining casualties. As the battle continues, I anticipate the attrition rate could become a problem. I see no alternative but to continue my advance. On the eastern slope of the saddle, a dug-in MG crew slow my advance. On my right flank, A Company of the 17th are still pushing forward. A Fallschirmjäger barrage starts to fall on my Vickers MGs. As more 7.5-inch artillery falls on Snakehead Ridge. The sappers move forward towards wrecks of Sherman from previous attacks. As B Company from the 4th advance towards Taylor, they walk into minefields. And the defending Fallschirmjäger start to engage. As I try to maneuver around minefields, I walk into more. I order B Company to continue their advance. I need to push through the minefields and engage the Fallschirmjäger at Taylor. I've identified Fallschirmjäger defensive lines on the red markers.
Adjust fire. Out. Adjust fire. Out.
On my right flank, A
Fire
Company from the
mission request.
17th
Retrieve it.
are
Out.
struggling to make any headway in their advance. At the saddle, A Company from the 16th
Roger. Fire
are
for
holding
attack.
their position and engaging the Fallschirmjäger they can spot. 6th Battalion have also slowed their advance and are engaging Fallschirmjäger on the saddle and on the western slopes of Snakehead Ridge. 4th Battalion
End of mission.
are mounting their
Out.
assault on Taylor at the northern end of Snakehead Ridge. The attack on Kelly is intensifying
Fire. Out.
as the 4th come into close contact with Fallschirmjäger.
Fire mission request. Retrieve it. Out. Fire mission request. Retrieve it. Out.
Elements from B Company start to crest. I'm attacking the hilltop from 3 sides.
Fire mission request. Receive it. Out. Fire for effect. Over.
The fighting is bloody, but I'm starting to get more forces onto the ridgeline.
For effect.
One of the attacking detachments panics. But I have more soldiers assaulting. The Fallschirmjäger are caught in a crossfire.
Broken. For effect. Fire.
And B Company get a firm grip on Taylor. In the valley, I once again start advancing the infantry.
End of mission. Out.
Private Voda dashes across the valley floor. Nearly half an hour into battle, and I reassess my plan. 4th Battalion have almost secured their objective at Kelly. 6th Battalion have made a strong advance
Roger. Check
down
fire.
the
End of
valley.
mission.
A Company from the 17th are struggling on my right flank and are taking heavy casualties. And my Vickers at Terrace 1
Fire
to
mission
the north of
request.
the saddle
Receive it. Out.
and the north of
End
A
of
Company from the
mission.
17th have come under repeated
End of mission.
mortar fire.
Out.
I want to maintain the pressure on the
Fire mission
Fallschirmjäger.
request.
I decide
Retrieve
to
it.
push
Out.
the 6th forward into the end of the valley and the farmstead. The 4th and the 17th will also continue their
Fire
advances.
mission request. Receive it. Out.
Taylor isn't as clear as I thought, and my forms get engaged in the brush. It's not enough to stop my advance, but I suffer further casualties. As B and C Company from the 6th advance to support A Company's attack, they come under artillery fire. I suffer more casualties. The German artillery increases. They also hit my Vickers MG nest. Meanwhile, the 6th, with armour support, start to advance south down the valley. But the 4th are getting bogged down in skirmishes on Snake Bridge. My armour advances beyond my infantry. They spot Panzerschreck. Bogged in a minefield, a Sherman takes a hit. The crew bail. The other 2 Shermans try to support. One takes a hit as the other reverses. Infantry quickly advance to support, but I've lost 2 Shermans. A final shot and 1 bruise up. On Snakehead Ridge, the advance is slow. Continual skirmishing with hidden Jerrys. We're just over 30 minutes into battle. The Germans continue to hold a strong defensive line, identified by the red marker. My attack on the left flank, by the 4th Battalion, is still strong. My attack in the centre from the 6th has halted, and I've lost 2 Shermans, 50% of my armour. And my attack on the right flank, by A Company from the 17th, has faltered and stalled. My mortars and artillery is all but expended. I'm going to review my situation and potentially change my battle plan. We're not done yet, but that's the end of the first video. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you'll keep on watching, and I'll get the second video out as quickly as I can. Goodbye.